Hi, so welcome to the Lex100's presentation at the Cardiff Law Fair. I'm really excited to do this. I really enjoy usually coming to Cardiff and speaking with students in person, but this year we couldn't make that happen, obviously due to the situation we're all in. But here's the presentation anyway. Uh, Lex100 is essentially a legal information guide for students looking to become lawyers in the UK. We are we're essentially a survey of all of the of 130 firms plus across the UK, and we speak with trainees in particular, over 2,500 trainees with it, and we do this in a completely confidential way. So this ensures that trainees can speak openly and tell us their experiences, whether they're good or they're bad. They don't have to worry about their employers being, you know, aware of what they've said and being negatively impacting them, so they can have a really honest opinion. And I think that's really important for students to hear, because a lot of what you get from law firms, their websites, or what if they're doing events or these things, is you get the marketing slant on what the firm is like, and they can end up being very similar in lots of ways. If you're looking at a lot of firms at the same time, then you can kind of forget which one is which, and kind of get them mixed up. But if you have excuse me, if you have an honest guide to what these firms are like, then you end up with a bit more of a true picture about what your experience of that firm might be like. So the way that we do that is we have categories, so that we ask the students the trainees rather, to rank their firms, and and then we take the responses to that, which is a statistic, but also they write comments about each category. So we take that information, and I write a verdict about the firm, trying to give a good picture, and using the quotes from the trainees. So you get to hear from them in their own words, not just what I think about it, but what the trainees think about it. And so you can make sort of strength and weaknesses comparisons to really find the right firm for you, which is really important. A law firm's status, or its salary, and even to some extent its location, is almost secondary to what the culture of the firm is like, or what the firm offers you as an experience. So you can really find that information with us, and that's what I think is the most important thing to look at. So I've gone through this a little bit already, but I'll explain slightly more detail what we do. The firms are ranked based upon the categories here that you see on the right hand side. So these are the things that we feel are really important for students to find out about law firms before they make their applications. And knowledge about these categories will also help you with your applications, because if you can provide evidence that you know about these types of things already, then you can stand out better in the application pool. So we start with are you satisfied in your job? Is the firm living up to expectations? Do you receive a high quality of work? Or do you have enough client contact? Or do you feel that you're sitting behind a desk and not really interacting with any of your clients, just doing sort of menial tasks? Do you have a happy work-life balance? What is the firm's social life like? If you did a graduate scheme, vacation scheme, then what was that like? Are you confident that you'll be kept on after training contract? That's one thing that students don't necessarily realize, is that a training contract really is a fixed term contract for the training, after which the law firm can decide to keep you on or not. And some don't, and that's a shame, but it's the way it is, the way that the market's set up. Also, is the firm an inclusive firm? Do the diversity and inclusion policies make a difference, and what impact does it have on your experience as a trainee? Are there good international secondments, if there are at all? And a secondment, to explain, is is when you do part of your training working for a client, or you're working in a regional office or an international office of the firm. So you're away from home and you're doing your work somewhere else. And then also finally, are the supervisors approachable? What is the culture of work like? These kind of things are very important. And also then we do include remuneration, whether you feel that you're being paid enough, because that does matter, but most of the law firms pay very well, so I wouldn't be too concerned on that. But people do want to know, so we make sure that's information's there too. So beyond those categories and the verdicts that we write, we also provide sort of a day in the life feature for each firm, and we ask one trainee to write her daily experience at the law firm. So what would happen on a typical day, and because we feel that it's important to know what your daily day-to-day activity would be, and sort of what it would be like if you were going to be part of the law firm, what it would be like to work there. So that's why we provide those days in life features. And we try to make it so that it's the typical day, not the sort of extraordinary day where they all go out on office away day or something like that, because that's not really reflective of what a daily life would be. So, however, we each firm that is ranked with us has one of these, and you can read them there. And sometimes they are videos and things like that. So. Sorry, I got distracted because I keep letting more people into the room, but here we go. So then our verdicts. The way that I write the verdicts, basically, it comes out of the quotes that the trainees provide in their in the survey. They sort of comment on each category as they go along, and this is the sort of the crux of what we write. And we take a look at what trainees have said this year in comparison with previous years and what's changed. And these verdicts are confidential prior to publication, so we don't let the law firms that are our clients look at this prior to it being published. So there's no favoritism, or we pride ourselves on our impartiality. And so that's kind of the guide and what's going on at the Lex. So that's sort of what we mostly cover. However, that's just a lot more on offer than our guide only. We're constantly writing feature articles which offer insight to the trends and developments in the legal recruitment market. We also provide a sort of news coverage of the biggest and most important things that are happening in this space. And from this year, every firm that features with us has to have a description of their diversity and inclusion programs and policies. And I mean, we feel this is really important because we have a category about inclusivity, which is from the perspective of the trainees, but we also want to have what the firm say they're meant to be doing, or saying what they would like to do about diversity and inclusion, so that our readers can compare the two and and see whether they are actually walking the walk instead of just talking the talk. And so also from the Lex100, you can check out the Legal 500 guide, because we're part of the same organization. And so therefore we advise our readers to look at Lex for the best information about training contracts themselves and the training experience. But then if you want to know more about the law firm itself, beyond its training, also what its specialties are, what where it operates, how much money it makes, who the partners are, what are the biggest deals that they've done, their importance in terms of the rankings for the Legal 500 and their status in the market, then the Legal 500 guide is where you'd like to go, and or I say where you should go, and that is linkable from the Lex100. So if you check out our content, you should go to the www.lex100.com, or you can download our app, which is a free app which has all of the functionality of the website, as well as you can save target firm application dates to your phone's calendar directly, and you can save favorited profiles to your phone so you can look at them without being online. And you can side by side compare the firms through features on the app that are not available on the website. So check out the app. It's really worth it. It's totally free, and it really could help you with your application process. And then also, very excitingly, if you want to keep hearing my voice, you can listen to the Lex100 podcast, where it's not just me. I interview heads of recruitment, law firm partners, current trainees, and university career staff about all things to do with legal recruitment and legal training contracts and the legal market in general. So whether you're just starting to think about becoming a lawyer or making a career change, or already in a training contract, this podcast is for you. It's to help you make the most of your application process or the most of your career with insight and knowledge about the market. So if you also get in touch with me if you want me to ask any questions to my guests, or if you and your organization want to join me on the podcast. So for information about that, there's a page with all of our episodes on the lex100.com. It's also available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. So that's the show. This information, as you'll know now, will be sent out to you to listen to back in case you have any questions. And so that's the recording. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope it's helpful.
Thank you very much.